Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to another video. So we have a little bit of a collective reading wrap up. I'm going to be sharing all the books that I read in the months of February and March. I didn't read as much as I wanted to. I feel like I started off the year a little bit strong. I read 9 books in January, and so I thought I was going to be in the same pace. But I ended up reading 5 books each month, so a total of 10 books. So I thought we could just combine these 2 months and just talk about the books that I read. I only read 3 physical books. Everything else was audiobooks, ebooks, or a mix of both. So let's just get started, and I'm going to tell you my rating, my thoughts on it, what the book is about, and if I would recommend or not. So let's just get started with the first book that I read. I started with A Study in Drowning by Ava Reed. And honestly, I hadn't heard anything about this book. The only reason why I have it is because I was shopping at Barnes & Noble and I saw these books and I thought they were so beautiful. Like, they're just beautiful books. So I picked up the first and the second, which honestly, I shouldn't do that. I should pick up the first book always, but sometimes I just... Yeah, this is a YA academic fantasy book, so it's like it's not high stakes. Our female main character and our male main character both go to the same school. Our female main character, Effie, is obsessed with this author who passed away, but she signs up for this contest that his family is putting together for someone to come and redesign his estate. And so she and Preston, our male main character, get chosen. They're both rivals and they have to travel to this estate, and things are just weird there. I don't know if it was the wrong time for me to read this book, but I just didn't enjoy this. By the way, I rated this 2 stars. It was just so slow for me. Nothing was happening. If you like a very cozy historical fantasy academic but not much high stakes, you might enjoy this. But honestly, I was just bored. I wasn't into the story. I wasn't connected with the characters. It was just not the time for me. I have the second book. I don't know if I'm gonna end up reading that. I'd have to read the blurb and see what the book is about. Maybe read some reviews. If not, I will sadly have to part with these books because honestly, I'm just not, it's not calling out to me. Then I read Let's Make a Scene by Laura Wood. This book was 4 stars and I thought it was so cute. If you like the trope of one of us is famous or both of us are famous, you would really enjoy this. Both characters are Hollywood stars and they met on a show that they filmed where they were together, and they each go their separate ways, but they have to come back 13 years later. I don't remember if they're filming a documentary or they're back to filming, and so they kind of have to pretend to be together. They don't like each other, so they have to pretend. As the reader, you can tell that there's chemistry there. So I think this was an interesting plot because I don't really read books where they're famous, and I just like the whole aesthetic and just setting of it all. So this one I enjoyed. I think it was a fun time. Okay, then I picked up this book, The Heir Apparent. Honestly, I picked this up and I had high hopes for it. My expectations were a little bit high. I was expecting a little bit more Princess Diary style, but it was not. It was more drama and just a lot going on. I did rate this 3 stars. I didn't hate it, but I wasn't super into it. It was I read it, it was good, it was okay, and yeah, I was ready for my next book. I'm not gonna sit here and say it was a bad book because it wasn't. And honestly, I picked it up because I said that this year was the year for me to kind of expand my taste in books and kind of get out of the romance genre and explore a little bit more. I do read fantasy, I do read thrillers, but I wanted to read a little bit more fiction books, and I thought that this one would be a good bridge to that, but I didn't love the story. If you like royalty and all that jazz, you might enjoy this book. So we have this woman who is just trying to live her normal life. Going to be a doctor soon. She's living on a farm with her 2 best friends. One of them might be a little bit more than a best friend. She's doing well when a helicopter shows up, and turns out her dad and her brother pass away in an accident, and her grandmother is a queen of England. She is next in line for the throne. And so you just see her go back and I guess try to figure out what to do. Is she gonna take this responsibility of being next on the throne, or go back to her life and continue the way that she was doing? That's kind of the whole plot of the book, is her figuring things out. But yeah, I cannot remember details about this book, only the idea of it, and that is why it's a 3-star for me. I didn't connect with it. Then I picked up another romance book, which, I mean, I feel like a romance book very rarely lets me down, and I rated this one 4.25 stars. I got an art copy from NetGalley, so I was really excited to pick this one up. And this one is about a woman who is taking care of her younger brother. So she is the legal guardian of her brother, and so she moves into the house. I think one of them passes away, and so she has to move back in with her brother. There's this next door neighbor who is a fireman, and he's been not taking care of her brother, but just kind of giving him little jobs, like he would cut his grass. It's a romance. You see them interact, and they're both kind of just wanting to help this teenage boy, and obviously it leads to more. They're hanging out, they're next door neighbors, things are bound to happen. So I think it was just a really cute romance, and I think this author writes really good emotional romances. I read The Brightest Light of Sunshine by this author in the past, and I remember enjoying it, so I wanted to pick this one up and I enjoyed it. Okay, then we read my first 5-star read of the year, which was An Academic Affair by Jodi McAllister. This one I enjoyed so much. I feel like this book is just right up my alley. Everything was perfect. This book is about Sadie and Jonah, and they both have been academic rivals like forever. And I love when they're academic rivals, because it's like there's a rivalry, but there's like they're both fighting for something, so they both want to be the best. The thing I loved about this rivalry is that it was like a little fun for him, because like the whole time he's being her rival, but he secretly admires her and never once puts her down. That's a real man. Okay, that is a real man right there. The way he would talk about her and just be so in awe of this woman was automatic 10 for me. But now the plot is basically they're both fighting for a job. There's one position open and they both need it for different reasons, but then they figure something out and then they kind of have to fake things. It just gets really fun, and I love that they're book lovers, academic rivals, the yearning. It was all there. Literally everything that I love was there. Okay, then I read The Best Worst Thing. I gave this 4 stars, but now that I'm really thinking about it, this could be a little bit higher, maybe like a 4.5. It's just a story that has stuck with me. Even if I didn't have that 5-star feeling at the time of reading it, I feel like it's just a romance and story that has just stuck with me. Like I randomly think about them, and I think that is a really good sign in a book, because I tend to forget. Like I'll finish a book and I will forget everything. So if I have thoughts of a certain book after I'm done, I feel like that's a good sign. But this book was such a deep and emotional story, very real. I did talk about this in a reading vlog, but our female main character, Nicole, she's just going through a lot. She's having infertility issues. Her husband is cheating on her. And so when she reconnects with this guy from the past, it's like a breath of fresh air for her, because it's like things feel easy with him when all of this is going on, and he kind of helps her get through all of this as she's going on. And so you're kind of going through this situation with her, and at the same time you're like seeing the romance between her and Logan and reconnecting with him. So I think it was just a really good book. If you're in the mood for a romance that really hits, and not just a fluffy rom-com, but something more deep, then this one would be perfect. Okay, now we have another physical book, The Love of My Afterlife. I picked this one up because I thought the premise was really interesting. It reminded me of like Ashley Poston with her magical realism. This is kind of the same thing. Our female main character dies, and she wakes up in the afterlife, and she's kind of getting introduced to this new reality of hers when this guy also dies, shows up in the afterlife, and she has this immediate connection with him, and she's like, this is my soulmate. Turns out it was a mistake of him being there, and he gets sent back. And she's like, no, like, this is not possible. Like, you're telling me I met my soulmate and we're not even together. So she begs to go back to life in hopes that she can find this man. So they give her, I think it was like 10 days, I don't remember, but they give her like a short amount of time to go back and find this man and get him to kiss her in order for her to stay alive. You follow her on this journey of finding this guy for him to kiss her. This book felt like a movie. Like, you're following a movie where everything's going wrong for her, and all of these funny moments and just things going bad, and she's just trying to find this man. But you do get a little fun romance in here, so I think it was a fun time, a fun plot, and this was 4 stars because I enjoyed it. I had fun. It did take me a little bit to read just because I was traveling and it was just hard to pick it up. Okay, then we read another physical book, and it was Ready or Not. This book has been on my TBR for a while. Ever since I read Promise Me Sunshine, I have been wanting to pick up another book by this author, and this one was so cute. I rated this 4.5 stars. Our female main character is pregnant, and guess who steps up to help? Her best friend's brother, and he's just the sweetest, most loyal male main character ever. Acts of service, he's taking care of her, he's doing things for her, he's just there for her, and like, his world revolves around her. That's all I'm gonna say. It's just such a cute story, and I really love this author's writing. I think the way that she puts you into the story is just really great. It was just really cute to see Shep get involved in her life, even though the baby's dad was in the picture, not as her partner, but just in the picture as the baby's dad. Then we had a 3-star read. Not bad, just okay. Could have passed up on this book, and it is Clean Girl Spring. I thought I was gonna enjoy this book a little bit more, but I was just bored. It's a small town romance. Our main character, April, who's from New York City, and she moves to this small town. I think it was her father's business, and she wants to turn it into a flower shop. There's this guy, Luke, who's a real estate developer, and he's just trying to turn the whole main street into, I don't even know what. So her shop, he wants to, and she's like fighting for her business. He's also the love interest, so things get interesting. But honestly, I cannot remember anything about this book. Honestly, it was an audiobook. I was listening to it, but I wasn't really into it. Didn't want it to be over in a bad way, like this is so bad. I was just like, I'm reading it, I'm not loving it. I could move on to my next book. Last but not least, I read The Night We Met by Abby Jimenez. This is her latest release, and I picked this up on audiobook, and it was, honestly, I would recommend the audiobook. It was really good. I'm still debating on my rating for this book. It's either a 4.5 and a 5-star. I'm just kind of waiting to see if it sticks with me or not, because at the time of reading it, I was really enjoying it. The more I think about it, I think it might be a 4.5. This book has a lot of mixed reviews, and I can understand why. If you read the author's note at the beginning, she specifically talks about the trope that this book is and how she thought about this story like years ago, and she wanted to bring it to life correctly. And I think this book was done right. But basically, our female main character is with the wrong guy. Is this low-key cheating? Like, yes, which I hate. But I think she wrote this very well. I'm not saying that, I don't know how to describe this. I think you just have to read her author's note. Okay, basically, she meets these 2 guys after a concert. It's Chris and his best friend. And so Larissa chooses the best friend to go home with. And he just like doesn't appreciate her as he should. And then there's Chris, who really likes her. Like, he's liked her, but he can't do anything about it because she's with his best friend. And so things are just very weird. And so now in the present, he's just seeing how he doesn't treat her well. She's also figuring out who her boyfriend is. She's seeing how Chris is treating her better than her boyfriend is. Realizations are coming to light. I don't know. I feel like you just have to go into this book with an open mind. I really loved the yearning aspect of like Chris wanting her and just liking her so much, but seeing another guy treat her so badly and just wanting to be better for her, the better man for her. So I feel like it can be different for everyone, but honestly, I really enjoyed this book. I don't know, I guess to each their own. If you do read this or have read it, let me know your thoughts. What do you think about this book? What's your rating? I am honestly really curious to see what other people are thinking. But that is it for all the books that I read in February/March. I did start 2 other books in March, but they're gonna be in April's wrap up. But yeah, I think that is it for this video. I hope you guys got some good book recommendations. Let me know how many 5-star reads you have so far this year. I have 1 and I'm looking for my next. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you in my next video. Bye.